All right, so we got up on deck the new UAG cases with MagSafe. All right, now shout out to a lot of y'all out there because first of all, I had no idea that UAG even had MagSafe cases. They didn't even put them on their Instagram yet or anything because technically they don't release until the time of this video today. It's Wednesday night when I'm recording this, but they release tomorrow when the video goes live. So shout out to UAG for dropping me these two so I can check out. Hopefully I'm one of the first ones to get them out there on YouTube, man. Let's quit rambling. Let's go ahead and talk about and see what they got going on. Now they sent 4 cases. So the Civilian, the Monarch Pro, the Pathfinder, and the Lucent Series. All right, so we're going to step through each and every one of these and let's just see what they're working with because I feel like the UAG was one of the case manufacturers that I was waiting to do MagSafe, and now they finally got the MagSafe. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with, and let's put these over there. Let's go ahead and start off with the Civilian. All right, now I don't even know if I've actually reviewed the Civilian on the channel before, so I know I've at least slapped it on my phone, but I've never actually really stepped through it and see what all they got. All right, 20 feet of drop protection, built-in magnet for MagSafe, discrete protection, Civilian Series for the 13 Pro Max. All right, so let's go ahead and take it out and let's just go ahead and take a look at it. And right up on deck, as you see, as we turn it over, you get those MagSafe magnets right there looking at you. All right, and then on the outside, they're going to give you this nice green and you get the orange around the corners, white MagSafe. This is going to be kind of a rigid case. All right, this is anything that's too flexible. This is actually a nice rigid case. So definitely nice to see. And let's go ahead and slap it on this Alpine green so we can see what we're working with. All right, so that's going to be how it's colored with the Alpine green. Definitely a little different look. All right, definitely a little different green. I'm not 100% sure if the greens actually go together, but let's go ahead and step through the actual case and let's see what we are working with. Right, all right, on the top side, going to be completely closed. On that left side, we got volume up, volume down, cut out for your mute toggle, which is easy to get to, no issues there. And the buttons are going to be nice and tactile when you are talking about the volume up and down. Taking a look at your cutouts on the bottom, as you see, you do have those accurate cutouts right there on the bottom. So everything is going to be good when we are talking about the cutouts. On the right side, you get that raised power button. And on the back, you see you do get that raised lip for your cameras. So you are good when you're talking about putting it on the ground. You're definitely good when you're talking about protecting that camera because we already know those camera humps a little bit big when it comes to those 13 Pros. All right, so definitely a nice look altogether when it comes to that. Now, taking a look at that lay on the table protection. Now, of course, yes, I am rocking a tempered glass screen protector, and this Civilian Series has a nice little lip that's going all the way around it. So they set up to 20 feet of drop protection, and I don't have no doubt in my mind when it comes to UAG cases, because there's some of the OGs to do it when you're talking about protection. I'm pretty sure you will be good when you are talking about potentially dropping one of these cases. All right, now, how does this fit on the actual phone? Now, the Civilian Series was always an excellent fit. Let's go ahead and make sure they didn't change anything up when just adding MagSafe. All right, so come up with that top. You see it has a very nice snug fit on that top. On the sides, absolutely rigid. All right, nothing is budging. Even by the buttons, it is still very rigid. Everything is very nice. Coming down to the bottom, barely any budging unless I'm really trying to pull it. So the fit of this is A1. And when you're talking about popping it off, yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I come to UAG cases. I'm actually struggling trying to get it off. So the fit of this is perfect. I wouldn't change the fit about this one bit at all. Absolutely love the fit of this case. And when you're talking about how does it feel in your hand, it actually feels pretty good on the sides. You don't really get a lot of grip. You kind of have a smooth kind of rubber texture, but I feel like it with it being a little bit more square, it kind of helps when you are talking about holding it. So I think it actually does pretty good, and it doesn't add too much bulk. I feel like it kind of keeps a thin profile, not adding a ton of bulk. So that kind of works as well. But I really do like this Civilian case. All right, now, truth, here it is, man. Honesty hour. Let's see. First of all, you know, of course, it's going to work with MagSafe. All right, it works with MagSafe, but let's see how strong UAG magnets are when it comes to MagSafe. All right, you guys, about to wake up my son, man. It's late, but you guys saw their magnet picked up this block. And you know, if you've watched my channel, if you can pick up this big stainless steel block, then you have decent magnets, aka you have some strong magnets, man. So I gotta say that I am impressed with the magnets on the Civilian series. All right, so this one's gonna be Civilian. Very nice, solid case. I really, really like what they have going on with this one. And I'm pretty sure they also come in some different colors, by the way. All right, so next one up, let's go ahead and get into the Pathfinder. All right, let's go ahead and take it to another OG out there when we are talking about UAG cases. And let's take a look at the actual Pathfinder case. Now, this is going to be their kind of black and gray version. I really like this. Definitely probably goes well with that graphite iPhone 13 Pro. You get that UAG design on the back that's kind of a little bit rugged, industrial type of look. You already know what time it is. And when it comes to those little faux screws on the sides right here, you get rubber sides, but then they actually have grips along both sides that hopefully is going to help you along with that grip. Flip it over inside, you see that MagSafe magnet right there, all right? Let's go ahead and pop it in, and let's go ahead and take a look around the case. So on that top side, it's going to be completely closed. Left side, volume up, volume down. You see they do have the little relief cuts for the volume up and down, so that works. Getting to that mute toggle isn't hard at all. Flipping it over on the bottom, you do have those accurate cutouts for your speakers and everything like that. And on that right side, very nice and tactile power button there. And on the back, you already know when it comes to that camera protection, all right? Taking a look at that lay on the tail protection, we already know when it comes to the Monarch series that this is some of the highest protection that you're going to get when it comes to a case. This thing is just solid, especially when we're talking about everyday drops, all right? We're not taking it off the cliffs and throwing it around. I'm pretty sure you probably can survive a good little heavy-duty drop, but very nice job when it comes to protection, when it comes to the Pathfinder, not the Monarch. I said the Pathfinder, all right? Kind of getting them mixed up a little bit, but lay on tail protection definitely looks good. So I have that tempered glass screen protector. It has a nice lip that goes all the way around it, as you can see right there, so no issues at all. Now, how does this fit on the phone? Because the Pathfinder series and the Monarch series all have fit excellently well. So let's go ahead and see how these fit right here. All right. So starting off at the top, you got a little give at the top. All right. I mean, it isn't as definitely as stiff as the Civilian, but you do have a little give. And coming along the sides here, it comes by the buttons. You do have a little bit of pull there. Coming along the sides, you do have a little pull, but this is a sturdy pull. I really don't feel like it's like a loose rubber pull. Even though it is pulling apart fairly easy by you guys looking at it, I do feel like it is still fairly sturdy. So I don't think it'll be anything that you got to worry about long term. Coming down to the bottom down here, you see it does pull, but it snaps right back into place because this rubber surrounding is a little bit thick. So it's not like it's flimsy or anything like that. So you don't have anything to worry about. And when you're talking about popping it on, it comes off fairly easy. Definitely not as tight fitting as that Civilian case. I would probably like for all of them to fit as tight as that Civilian, but this isn't bad, all right? When we're talking about the fit compared to Civilian, where this is like an A, I'll give this a strong B when it comes to the fit, all right? Still like the fit of that Civilian a little bit better. And how does it feel in your hands? It actually feels pretty good. You can tell that you're getting to the cases that adds a little bit more thickness, but that's not a bad thing when you're a person with the dropsies and you need that level of protection. But those grips right here on the side do feel good, all right? They do feel good. It gives you a very nice, confident hold when you are talking about gripping and holding this phone, all right? So bringing the MagSafe over here, let's go ahead and drop it on MagSafe. As you can see, it works just fine with MagSafe. And this one right here has a noticeably weaker magnet, all right? It kind of picked this up, but it's giving me a little easier to release it, all right? Like this right here is coming off fairly good. I can get to lift it if I take my time, but any movement, it actually falls off. So it has a decent strength, but it definitely isn't as strong as that Civilian. I know I'm keep comparing it because this is the first time we got to look at MagSafe cases from UAG, so I got to compare it to it. But this is going to be the Pathfinder series, of course, always one of the OGs when it comes to their cases, all right? So moving right along, let's take a look at the Lucent, all right? 16 feet of drop protection. Now, this is the first time I'm really checking out one of their Lucent cases. I think this may be a part of their like newer line, but this is going to be a more minimal style case from UAG, all right? Usually we're used to Pathfinder, Civilian, Monarch over there. That gives you a little bit of extra bulk, but this one's going to be a little bit more on the minimalist side. So as you can see, it has basically has that outline on the back for that MagSafe, and you can kind of see how it is on the inside. It has like a translucent border that goes around it with the matte back. And I like that. That is a nice little look when you were talking about comparing the two. The buttons are a little bit different on this one, but let's just pop the phone in here so we can take a look at it it because this case is designed a little bit different. So let's go ahead and pop it in and let's see what it, ooh, I like the way this feels right offhand. So let's go ahead and step through the case. On that top side, it's going to be completely closed. On the button side, all right, they're flat buttons. So I'm not usually a huge fan of the flat buttons because it's kind of confusing to kind of see where you can get your finger in between, but it is a flat panel button, but it is nice and tactile. You just got to make sure you're clicking on the right button. Getting to that mute toggle switch is a very, very tight little area up in there. Very tight to get up in there and get that mute toggle switch. I would probably like that be a tad bit wider, man. Just a little tough to get it up in there. And I know you guys are gonna have a field day with that. Flipping it over on the bottom, you can see the speaker cutouts are very tight and precise. Same thing going on with that power button. Very flush, except it has 3 dots right there. And even though with that, they still are nice and tactile. Flipping it over on the back, you see you do get that lip for that camera. Now, looking at that lay on the table protection, this one has a faint lip, all right? Not as big of a lip as the other 2 cases, but it does have a very, very faint lip, and I would probably be a little bit more comfortable if it had a little bit more of a lip. It has a tiny one, and even though I know this case is geared towards the more minimalist protection, it's very tight. It's very, very minimal when we are talking about lay on the tail protection. All right, now how does this case actually fit on the phone? So let's start at the top. Very, very tight right there on the top. Actually fit better than I thought it was going to do when I was just touching the case by itself, but very stiff fit on the top. Come along the sides. Of course, you're going to have a little bit of give when it comes to those buttons, but as you hit that side, nothing at all. And when it comes down to the bottom, this area is probably going to be your most flimsiest. All right, I probably would have liked to see a little bit more structure down here to kind of keep this from being flexing too easy, but that's kind of the weakest part right here of the case. Is that right there, but it's not a total deal breaker. I do still think overall that it fits good on the actual phone. The fit, when you're talking about popping it on and off, comes off fairly easy, but I don't think you have to worry about a side actually popping off when it's in and out of your pocket. All right, and how does it feel in your hand? I really, really like the way this case feels in your hand because it definitely is giving me a very thin, minimal type vibe that we normally don't get from UAG cases. So I definitely can appreciate that when we are talking about these cases right here. But I like it very thin, and even this material really gives a good bit of grip. Oddly, like this material right here actually gives you a nice level of grip. All right, so let's bring the MagSafe over here, drop it down on MagSafe. That just felt like a very nice, confident magnet. And just kind of like I said before with the Pathfinder series, when you pick this block up, it can pick it up, but it can fall off fairly easy. But that's still solid magnets, all right? We're talking about still giving you a very nice pair of solid magnets when it comes to the Lucent series. So I like this, man. UAG, keep it up. Definitely keep going with this Lucent series because I really like the minimal style when it comes to these cases. I really, really like this case, actually. Like, it's kind of strange. Like, I like this. I like the way this feels, and I really like the grip that it gives in the minimalist. I like this, what they have going on with this Lucent series right here. And last but not least, we got to go ahead and check out the Monarch Pro, all right? This is going to be probably their most premium protection, 21 feet of drop protection. We already know when it comes to the Monarch, if you're familiar with that Monarch series, you know this is going to be the big boy when it comes to protection from UAG, all right? So just look at it on the back. You get a very nice industrial build. You got a little faux carbon fiber pattern. I like how UAG kind of did with the magnets, and definitely on the back of this one, you really can't see the magnet. So I kind of like the way they actually did that right there. I think that's a very, very nice look right there. So let's go ahead and take a look around it. You got raised up volume up and down. You got nice little texture right here on the sides to where it's going to help when you're talking about gripping it. Accurate speaker cutouts, and definitely you got little feet right here on the edge of the case. So when you set it on down, it's going to lift the case up off the actual surface. All right, so let's go ahead and pop that 13 Max in this Monarch Pro, and let's go ahead and take a look. All right, and this is going to be for the people who need a little bit more chunk, a little bit more protection when it comes to their cases, but it isn't too bad. All right, so starting off at that top, as you can see, it is smooth. You do get like a little indentation right here. I think that's just the design of the case, nothing more, nothing less. Huge cutout for the mute toggle. That's what I like to see, easy to get to. Nice and tactile, volume up and down. You get that little grip pad right there. On the sides, you get little cuts, you get little openings. This could be for lanyards, but I know a lot of people right now in the conversation are going to tell me they don't really care for that because it might let dust in and out. So it's just something to think about. To me, it really doesn't bother me if they include it or not. It's not that big of a deal. Accurate speaker cutouts when it comes to the bottom there, and nice and tactile power button as well, with that very nice, generous camera protection when we are talking about the Ring. All right, now taking a look at that lay on the table protection, this has a nice lip. You would expect that because this is the most protection that they offer. This definitely has a nice lip that goes all the way around it, so I definitely think you'll be good in the case that you do drop this down. You will be good to go. No issues there. Now, how does this actually fit on the phone? Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So on the top side, you're going to get a little bit of pull right there, nothing too serious. But one thing that kind of surprised me, and I actually already have tried this case on, this sides gives a little bit more easier. Now, if you're talking about the OG Monarch case from UAG, you know the sides never gave like this. All right, so that was one thing that I kind of disappointed me a little bit, is I like the OG thicker sides of the Monarch that didn't budge at all when you pulled it. But not a deal breaker. It still is very solid material, and I don't think it's anything that'll get flimsy over time. But that's just one thing that I had to make a note of, because that's the first thing that I realized when I popped the Monarch Pro on, that it just didn't really fit as reassuring as the OG Monarchs did. All right, so something to think about when it comes to that, but nothing too crazy. And how does it feel in your hand? Well, before that, popping it on and off, very nice sturdy fit when it comes to this case. No issues at all popping it on and off. Very nice tactile pop on. How does it feel in your hands? It actually feels good. Of course, you're going to add a little bit more bulk, but I really like those grip pads on the sides. These designs right here really gives you a good grip on the phone, to where you can be very reassured that you're not going to drop it. And if you do drop it, you do have that level of protection. So bringing the MagSafe charge over here works just fine with MagSafe charging. You can see right there, animation did pop up. But the magnet on this is probably the weakest magnet out of all right? It is not picking up this at all. You know, all of the other cases tried to pick this up, but the Monarch just isn't trying to pick this up at all. So surprisingly enough, the Monarch actually has the weaker case out of all of the rest of these on the table. Okay, so something to think about. I know this is going to be the most expensive case. You already know the links to these will be down below. Now, these are only going to be on UAG's website, so you can't run to Amazon and go get them. So if you do want to grab one of these, whether it's the Monarch, whether it's the Lucent, whether it's the Civilian, which I really like, which I think is probably the best out of this lineup, or the Pathfinder, you got to go directly to the UAG website, because they are going to be website only when it comes to these cases. So you already know the links down below are affiliate links. So if you use one, it does help the channel out a lot. Salute to UAG for finally jumping on board when it comes to the MagSafe. So I really like these. Definitely out of all of these, I can actually see myself rocking this Civilian, because that is right up my alley when it comes to the cases. But until next time, man, everyone be safe. Catch you on the next one. Later.